For more on this, Ari Zoldan, CEO of Quantum Media Group, a global research marketing firm. Good to see you again. Let me get your reaction to Disney's forecast, not necessarily the earnings itself, but their forecast to the future. And the reason I ask is they seem fairly optimistic. I mean, are you in agreement with that?
Yeah, no, entirely. In fact, they really surprised Wall Street. I think Wall Street was expecting about 147 million subscribers. They came in at about 152 million subscribers. So in terms of beating expectations, they're definitely there, and they're surprising Wall Street. That they're surprising a lot of other people. And especially this entry into Asia with these content partnerships, I think it's just going to continue to add value to the bottom line.
Let's touch on China and their business over there. There's a Disneyland in Hong Kong, and there's a Disneyland in Shanghai. So that's two. That's a lot, and both of them have had the shutdowns have impacted both of them at different times. Granted, but certainly tourism numbers have shrunk considerably in the last 12 to 18 months during this COVID period, if not actually, quite frankly, longer. How can there not be a negative impact from the closures of both of those resorts to Disney? I'm just scratching my head here.
Yeah, no, it hurts. There's no question. Things are obviously they are coming back. I think they're coming back a little bit slower in Asia, but they are seeing on a week-to-week basis the numbers are growing, and I think offsetting some of that stuff is their streaming business that just continues to break records.
When they first launched their streaming, there was already to a lot of fanfare, and a lot of people already predicted that it would take away subscribers from Netflix and Hulu and whatever service you want to utilize. Do you think this is proof that essentially those critics are right, Disney has won, and where I scratch my head is, so where do they go next? They've already won the content war. They've won the subscriber war. I mean, I guess raising prices, which they're kind of doing.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I hope they don't go the other way where it becomes a race to the bottom, because I do believe that that's kind of a lose-lose for everyone. When you start decreasing the subscription prices, you see the lack in quality. The product of the quality is just not there anymore. If anything, I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing an incremental increase on Netflix's business model as well. I really do believe at the end of the day, it's going to be about the content, the quality of the content, what their subscriber demographic looks like, and how sticky is their content going to be for people to not change their channel.
Here's a question I have. So their model currently is sort of B to C. They sell directly to the consumer who buys the streaming service. The old model was they would sell to a place like Comcast or another distributor, and they would then pay Disney a flat fee or per subscriber, I guess, and distribute that. Which one does Disney make more money at?
I mean, I would imagine going direct to consumer, is typically always going to be, give us your, it's going to be the biggest margin. But there's also a cost, quote unquote, to acquiring that customer, right? What is it costing Disney to acquire that customer, that streaming customer? So that has to be factored into it as well.
Where will growth come from next for the Disney Corporation? I mean, a lot is talked about ESPN and ABC News and the sort of the media and sports part of it. Some people talk about the theme parks, and I know you've already talked about streaming. So they have multiple revenue streams. Which one's going to be their big area of growth?
I'm willing to bet it's going to be in this the creator, if you will, the creator's economy, working with influencers, and it doesn't have to be the Kim Kardashians of the world. There's a lot of B and C celebrities or influencers out there that are moving the needle, especially in this new economy. And obviously, with the opening of the metaverse, there's tons of opportunities there for Disney to start playing in. And I definitely see that as being their next frontier.
Who is Disney's #1 competitor?
Netflix.
But they don't have all the children's show. Like I don't understand why they are the competitor other than eyeball time. But in terms of content, it's completely different, isn't it?
It's different content, but I think at the end of the day, Wall Street just loves numbers. It's just what and who they are. So, when they're talking about hundreds of millions of subscribers, they're able to build a story comparing apples with apples. But to your point, it may not necessarily be the case.
Yeah, this is fascinating stuff. We could talk about this for hours on end. Of course, that wouldn't be very exciting if we did that. It's good to see you again, Ari Zoldan,
Yeah.
on Disney, CEO Quantum Media Group. Thank you very much.